They look very similar. There's no question about it. They definitely look similar. Hello and welcome to the Mighty Oak Supply YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at two very similar knives from different brands. We have the Benchmade Bugout 535 and one of the Ozark Trail 7.5-inch folding pocket knives from Walmart. This guy over here is coming in at about $180 on Amazon currently, and this knife is coming in at about $10 at Walmart. So I wanted to do a quick comparison between these two knives and see, does the price difference make sense, or is this a better deal? Overall, we'll take a look and we'll see what's going on between these two knives. So first things first, let's pop these guys open and take a look at the way they both open. So this is the Benchmade Bugout 535. It's very smooth, right? Benchmade's always open really nice. Very smooth, very slick. No complaints on the opening there. So that's the Benchmade Bugout. Let's put that guy over to the side. Let's go over to the Ozark Trail, right? The Ozark Trail 7.5-inch model. I didn't find any kind of a name for this. They just call it the 7.5-inch folding knife. So let's pop this guy open and see how that looks. Very nice. It opens smooth, right? It's oh, that one wasn't so great. It opens pretty nice. Let me do a side by side real quick. So we'll pop this guy open and then we'll go right over to the Ozark Trail. Pop him open. There you go. There you go. I mean, I'm giving this one to the Benchmade, but they're pretty close here, I wouldn't say the Benchmade's open is 18 times better. Okay, so they both open smooth. Really no complaints on either side. They're both really smooth knives. So let's take a look at the grip on these knives here. So on the Benchmade, we do have a blue handle. This one is a textured grip. It's made of a hardened plastic of some kind. We do have a really nice texture here. So it's not too rough, but it also gives you a nice, ability to control the blade. You're not gonna have this slip out of your hand. It does feel nice, no question about it. There's no, exaggerated finger grooves, but it does have nice little indentations here, so you can get a nice hold of the blade. So no problem holding the blade here. Really, really nice, really nice Benchmade. On the Ozark Trail, we do have an injection molded kind of a plastic. Yeah, I mean, first impressions, you pick up the Ozark Trail and there is a noticeable difference in the grip. No question about it. There's less texture here. There's less to hold on to. It does feel very slippery compared to the Benchmade, right? So, I mean, this one is going to be harder to get a kind of grip of. You're going to have to probably hold this a little tighter to make sure it doesn't slip. That is a noticeable difference. Just looking at them, it's kind of hard to tell. You wouldn't just pick that up by glancing at it. I mean, you do see some visual ridges here. It is clear now that I'm really looking at it. But if you're just glancing, you're not really looking for the grip, you're not going to notice it so much. But yeah, very noticeable difference in the texture of these two knives, at least in the handle. So the Benchmade feels very solid, very grippy. You're not going to drop it. It's not going to slip. The Ozark Trail, less grippy, right? Putting those side by side really makes this noticeable. So on the grip, I'm giving it to the Benchmade. I mean, there's no question about it there. That is a superior grip. You would expect that for something that is 18 times as expensive though. So there is that. In terms of dimensions, so let's get into the dimensions, specifications about each of these blades. So I'll just put them side by side and we'll do a little quick comparison in terms of the sizes. So the Benchmade's coming in at a close length of 4.2 inches, while the Ozark Trail is coming in at a close length of 4.25 inches. So they're very close in the close length, right? When we pop these open, the Benchmade is coming in with a 3.2-inch blade. The Ozark Trail is coming in with a 3.25-inch blade, right? So, I mean, they are just neck and neck. They're really, really close. The Ozark Trail is a little tiny bit larger, right, in terms of the handle and the blade itself. Overall length, we're looking at a 7.4-inch length on the Benchmade. On the Ozark Trail, we're looking at a 7.5-inch length. 7.4, 7.5, really close in terms of the sizes here. In terms of weight, so the Benchmade is coming in at only 1.85 ounces. 1.85, so it's a very light knife, but it doesn't feel cheap in that way, right? A lot of light knives do feel like, you know, it feels flimsy, it feels cheap. The Benchmade just doesn't, right? It's 1.85 ounces, but it feels expensive. I mean, I don't know how else to kind of describe that. It feels substantial. The Ozark Trail has a weight of 3.5 ounces. 3.5 ounces. So they're almost the same size, but this blade is what, roughly twice as heavy. Given it's 3.5 ounces, I mean, it's not heavy, you know, in terms of like overall weight. Like, you're not going to be unable to carry this. Obviously, it's perfectly fine for a pocket knife. But you know, Benchmade just does something special, right? I mean, they pack a very, I mean, it's the same amount of material, right? It's roughly, it's a little thinner, but in terms of like the handle and the blade length and the overall length, these are roughly the same, but the Benchmade's coming in at half the weight. So I mean, that is obviously a superior aspect of this knife, right? Nobody wants a heavier knife for the same amount of metal, you know, same amount of material. So yeah, and that, you know, I just put these side by side to see the width here. The Benchmade is noticeably thinner, right? So if that's something that matters to you, we have a more thin profile on the Benchmade compared to the Ozark Trail. Right, so that's something to keep in mind. What else can we look at? So in terms of like warranty, right, the Benchmade's coming with a lifetime warranty, a sharpen guarantee, so they'll sharpen it for you, all that stuff. The Ozark Trail, I really couldn't find any like clear warranty information on this. It is a Walmart knife, so I'm assuming if you have your receipt, you can just return it to Walmart. So, you know, just like anything else from Walmart, you know, it's backed by that type of a return. But Benchmade, I mean, does have a lifetime warranty, right? So, I mean, there's not going to be a problem replacing this if there's some kind of a manufacturing issue. So that is something to keep in mind too. The warranty and guarantees, right? So Benchmade's got an excellent one. Ozark Trail is probably just backed by Walmart's return policy. Not quite sure what other coverage they offer there. There's definitely not a sharpening guarantee that you get with Benchmade. That's pretty unique for Benchmade. What else? We have a similar locking mechanism, right? So they both have this slide lock. This guy right here. It's the same type of mechanism. In terms of like comparing them, really, they look pretty damn close, you know, like, yeah, pretty close. This resistance here is very light. It's light resistance, so it's really easy to kind of maneuver. Let's close that guy up. And this as well, right? So when you do release the locking mechanism, this knife doesn't just like collapse in. It doesn't like fall into the handle. So I do like that about the Benchmade because it's you know, less likely to cut you. On the Ozark, we have the locking mechanism. It is a little more resistant, but you know, not anything noticeable. It's easy to manipulate. It's easy to move. One thing that I did notice on the Ozark Trail though is it just kind of falls into the handle like that, right? So I mean, that to me is something that I don't really like. But on a knife priced at $10, you know, I'm not going to complain too much about it. But it is a noticeable little feature. The fact that it just falls in, you're more likely to slice your hand with this. So, you know, that's something notable. The Benchmade just doesn't really have that problem. But I wouldn't expect it to have any problems for the prices that this costs. So what else can we do here? Let's get into some cutting. Let's cut some things. So let me get some cardboard first. We'll just get a couple of pieces like this. Okay, so I have very similar pieces from the same box. So I will go through it with the Benchmade first. So the Bugout, let's do that. Slice right through it. Right through it. So it just turns that into nothing, right? So the Benchmade is obviously sharp, it should be. The Ozark Trail, let's see how it holds up. Okay. Didn't quite get through. There we go, right through it. Noticeably more pressure with the Ozark Trail. Didn't quite get through it there. Okay, through that one. Let me see, because I want to see with the same piece of cardboard, because it might be a little thicker. Let me just see if this goes through. Yeah, right through it. So, I mean, the Benchmade obviously sharper, right? It's a much more expensive blade. It's going to be sharpened better at the factory there. But I'm sure you could get this up if you sharpened it yourself a bit. But this is just out of the box. So, I mean, I'm just doing out of the box. Haven't sharpened either of these. These are just how you get them off the shelf. So, Benchmade, superior in the sharpness category. Let's do one more test, right? So I do have, just for a quick kind of test, I have this 1/2-inch rope. So I'm going to cut this with the Benchmade. Just be very careful not to slice my finger off, and all right through it. No problems there. So made light work of that rope. Let's get another piece of 1/2-inch rope here. One more piece of the 1/2-inch rope. Let's see how the Ozark Trail holds up. Okay, didn't get through it the first time. Didn't get through it the second time. Through it on the third time. So 3 tries, and it takes care of it. Yeah, three tries to get through this 1/2-inch rope. So, I mean, there is no question about it. The Benchmade is a sharper knife. Out of the box, it's sharper. I'm sure you can sharpen up the Ozark Trail plenty, but that's not what I'm looking at right now. Just looking at the out of the box, off the shelf, what's it like in terms of sharpness? The Benchmade is it's a sharper knife. Okay, that's just objective. It's a sharper knife. It has a better handle, right? Better grip, better texture, no question about it. That the way the knife kind of falls in when you release the lock, that is, you know, there's a little bit of resistance there, which I personally like because it's just less likely to cut yourself. The Ozark Trail, you know, the grip is there's less going on with the grip. It's more smooth. The locking mechanism is, you know, about the same as the Benchmade, not significantly different. But the way it kind of drops in like that, I'm not a fan of that, right? It just seems a little dangerous for me, and for something you're going to carry daily. See that way it just like slammed in, like if you had your finger accidentally right there or something, you might get yourself. But it might not be sharp enough to take your finger off. So I guess there's something to that. So yeah, one big thing that I haven't mentioned, this knife is made in China. This knife is made in Oregon. It's made in the United States. So, I mean, to me, that matters, right? This is something that matters. This is a US made knife. It is a higher quality knife. There's no question about it. This is a Chinese made knife. It's a lower quality blade, but $10, $180, much more expensive. There is no question about it, right? So it's a better knife. It's a better quality knife. It does cost more. You know, it's an American made, higher quality blade, costs a little bit more money. Chinese made, less money, lower quality. You know, it's kind of exactly what you'd expect, right? It's not like this $10 knife is like blowing the Benchmade out of the water. I don't think it is. I think they're different knives. They look very similar. There's no question about it. They definitely look similar. But in terms of how they feel, how they perform, you know, the overall substance, and even the the warranties and the guarantees, you're paying more because you're getting more with the Benchmade, right? The Ozark Trail, it'll definitely cut things. It's a nice smooth open. It is, you know, adequate in the hand. Doesn't feel bad or anything. And it's $10. That's the best aspect of this, is that it's $10. But if I had to pick one and I was just going to carry something daily, I'm going to save up and I'm going to try and grab myself a Benchmade, right? If it's just these two, I'm going to try and save up and grab the Benchmade. If I didn't have the money, obviously this is a perfectly fine knife. You know, if you're just looking for something that's cheap, that you can just get your hands on without spending too much cash up front, Ozark Trail is wonderful for that. So each of them has their place, in my opinion. I think that they're both great knives for their price points, right? So less expensive, perfectly fine quality for what it costs. More expensive, and I think the quality matches the price. The quality and the guarantees and the warranty and all that stuff, and the fact that it's made in the United States, right? We don't actually sell these at mightyoaksupply.com. So, I mean, I do put an Amazon affiliate link, but I'm not like backed by them or anything. It's just a nice knife, you know. It's an objectively nice knife. I'm gonna call it what it is. So, yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed. If you want some cool EDC gear, or you know, you're just looking for some gifts for the holidays, be sure to check out mightyoaksupply.com. We did get a new shipment of cool stuff in recently. So we got some cool Zippo lighters in, some bolt action pens, and obviously, you know, a handful of highly selected folding pocket knives. So everything on Mighty Oak Supply ships for free, right? Anywhere in the United States. We do a satisfaction guarantee as well. So, you know, if you're not happy with your order, you can simply return it. We'll pay for the shipping. So that is guaranteed. Free shipping, you know, satisfaction guarantee, you know, worth taking a shot. Check out mightyoaksupply.com for your new EDC gear. Thank you for, you know, watching till the end. Have a great day.